everyone, welcome to It's Crochet O'Clock. My name is Stephanie and today we're going to be talking about something that's a little bit sticky wicky. I know we do that a lot here, we do, but there is an elephant in the room. It's been a pretty big elephant for at least a week and a half now, maybe even 2 weeks by the time this video finally gets published. And that elephant is this right here. Janie Crow versus Dolce&Gabbana. Now, I want to preface this with I am not going to speak about the drama that has been going on with this. Everybody has their own opinions. I do not have one. Everybody has been talking about this, and if you aren't, this is an outfit that Dolce&Gabbana put out with their new line. Immediately, people started recognizing some of these squares as squares that were from two of Janie Crow's designs. Janie Crow is a very popular designer in our industry. She is a Stylecraft blog star, and lots of people are of the opinion that some of these squares from this outfit from Dolce&Gabbana actually came from Janie Crow's patterns. Okay, so that's why all of this is going on, and it's still pretty big in all across social media, and lots of people are still talking about it. But I'm gonna go a different direction with it because that's what I do. That's how I roll, so I take it. There's a lesson to be learned here, okay? I talk to you guys constantly, trying to pull small subjects from this bigger whole and help you learn little bit by little bit. The lesson here is how important it is to file and properly register your patterns for protection under copyright. It's a hard subject to talk about, okay? I've filmed this 4 times now, and every time I start to go into it, I get a little bit crazy whenever I'm talking about it. And so I'm gonna try to hit the points that I need to hit while still impressing upon you the importance of it. That being said, I live in the United States of America. Our laws are not the same as other countries, obviously. So when I speak, the vast majority of the time I am speaking from the perspective of someone who lives in the United States. But just because you do not live in the United States does not mean that your country does not have similar laws or that they do not have their own laws. So please research for your own country, because your laws are going to vary, but you do have protection. Almost every country out there has copyright protection. There's a gazillion, maybe not a gazillion, because there isn't a gazillion countries in the world, but there are treaties amongst many, many, many countries within the world where they all recognize each other's copyright laws, and they will honor them. So just look into it, okay? Because whether this situation right here is infringement or not, it still should give you a reason for pause. And if it doesn't, then you need to sit down and think about that, because this is a really big company. This is a really big designer that people are implying has been stolen from, okay? So here in the US, the way our copyright laws are written, the moment we publish something, publishing on the internet does count, it specifically states that. The moment we publish something, it is ours, and it is protected under copyright. But what they don't tell you is that if you do not take the extra step of registering your work with the Copyright Office, they do actually tell you, but most people don't read down that far, then you're going to have a harder time if you ever have to take a situation to court. The first thing that you're going to have a hard time doing is you're going to have a hard time finding a lawyer that's going to take you on if you have not registered your work. If you cannot walk in there with that piece of paper and show it to them and say, I own this, there is absolutely no No other way that anybody else could own this. I filed for it. I paid for it. It is registered. It is mine. You are going to have a very hard time finding a lawyer who is going to take on somebody, because then they're going to have to prove that it's actually yours. To even get anything off the ground, you have to prove that it is yours. That is the first thing that you have to prove when you're in court. Having that document fixes that. It's yours. Nobody can take that from you. It's yours. You've done the work. You've registered it. The second thing that you have to prove is that they have stolen your property. That's what the lawyers are for. So you can get one up. If you can get a lawyer to represent you without having this documentation, they're going to have to prove that the work is yours. Then they have to prove that it was stolen, because the burden of proof is not on the accused. It's on the accuser. We have to prove that our work has been stolen. So then they have that work to do. Then they have to figure out what the damages are and how it has affected you and the losses that you have incurred because of this theft. There's a lot of things that go into this, but you're going to have a really hard time finding a lawyer that's going to take you on if you can't show them that piece of paper. Designers face it all the time with us YouTubers. Other companies, people ask me all the time, why won't Etsy take this down? I've reported this a gazillion times. I've reported this. I've reported this. They're not going to listen to you because they don't have to, because you are not the owner of that property. You're not. Until the person that owns that property goes to them and says, look at my documentation. I own this. They do not have permission to do this. They cannot do this. Remove it. They don't have to. That little piece of paper gives you so much power whenever it comes to this, okay? Once you have that little piece of paper and say, I have started working on your pattern and I'm doing tutorials for your pattern and you didn't give me permission to do that, you can go to YouTube and you can complain and you can say, that's my pattern. I didn't give her permission to do that. YouTube's not going to listen to you because you can't, they don't know crochet. They're in the business of YouTube. They're not in the business of crochet. They don't know that. They're not going to listen to you until you provide them with the documentation that says that you own that property and that I do not have permission to do this. That's just the way that it works. I know that I keep harping on this, and I wish that there was a better way for me to be able to impress upon you how important it is to register your work. There are still a lot of people that are of the belief that crochet patterns cannot be registered, and that's just not true anymore. A couple years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, it wasn't possible for knitting designers and crochet designers to file for protection for their work, but it is now. They are included in the visual arts section of copyright. We can file for protection. There are several designers who have already, multitudes of designers who have registered their patterns. So you can too. So if somebody says that you can't, bless their hearts, they just aren't up to date with the laws and the way that things are going. The other aspect of this that I want to talk about is the damages portion, because I believe that it fits in well with this subject that we are talking about, registering your copyright and being able to have a leg to stand on if you want to go to court. Damages, loss. So using a free pattern as an example, and I am not saying that giving away patterns is wrong at all. No, if you want to give away patterns, that's your business. That's your business. That's your art. If you want to give it away, fine, give it away. However, if somebody takes it and you want to go to court, one of the things you have to prove is damages and losses. Because otherwise, what reason are you going to court? We're not children. We don't need to have somebody's hand slapped and say, that's bad. That's not what the court does. the court is, they're going to want to award us damages, and we have to be able to ask for those and to provide proof of how we were damaged as a company, as a designer, as an artist. This person has taken our work. This is how it has affected us. So you're taking a free pattern, you're going to upload it to Ravelry. Absolutely nothing wrong with that, okay? Ravelry is probably the biggest community that we have for knitting and crocheting patterns, okay? They do need to make improvements, but we're not going to talk about that. But it's still the biggest place. So I think that it's a wonderful advertising tool for that. But what it will not do is it will not help you prove damages. Because if you're just giving away a pattern for free, you're not making anything from it. Sure, it might hurt your reputation to see your pattern, you know, all over these other seedy websites and all of that, and you could try, but wouldn't it be much better if you did this? You created a website, okay? There's many different platforms out there, super easy to do it. A lot of them make it so easy that it's literally just point and click. This is what I want, fill in the blanks, boom, website. You can upgrade that website, okay? You can pay money per year to have access to different features, and one of those features being able to monetize your website. You can add, say, AdSense to your website. You can add word ads to your website. There's many different companies out there that do the same thing as AdSense. But the premise is you can monetize your website. So what if you had your pattern, your project page on Ravelry, but instead of having the download there for it, you redirected people over to your website that is monetized, okay? There's a couple things that this is going to do for you. One, it's going to give you back some type of money for the time and the effort that you've put into your free pattern. And I've said it before and I'll say it again. A free pattern could generate more revenue for you than any paid pattern could. I firmly believe that, and I will continue to preach that until the day that I die, because people enjoy things that are free. And if there's a little ad sitting on your website and it's generating money for you and they have to go through that to get it, as long as it's not overbearing and oh my God, they have to click off 5 different ads just to be able to read your pattern, they're not going to have a problem with it most of the time, okay? But you redirect people from Ravelry to your website where they can get your free pattern. It's going to generate that revenue for you. It may not be a lot. I mean, you're probably not going to be able to buy an island next year, but you might be able to buy the yarn for your next project so you can give away another pattern, so you can continue working, okay? Eventually, you may do very well with promotion of it, and you may make a part-time job out of it. You could make a full-time job out of it, depending on how your promotion goes and you know the quality of your patterns and all of that. It could absolutely happen. But through this process, you're going to be gathering data, okay? So you put this free pattern on your website and it's been there for a year. And you can show through your statistics and your analytics from your website and from the AdSense, I'm going to say AdSense because it's the most popular, but there's other companies that you can use. You're going to get analytics from your website. You're going to get analytics from Google. You're going to have this paper trail that's going to show that you made X dollars here this month, this month, this month, this month, this month, this month, and then all of a sudden, it just went away. It just stopped. Coincidentally, that's when this other website over here decided to steal your pattern and put your pattern on their free crochet site. And now people aren't coming to your website anymore. So now this many months has passed by where you have not created or generated the revenue for yourself that you were doing months prior to your pattern being stolen. You've just proven damages. You've just shown that you have suffered a loss. Okay? It really is that simple. There's all kinds of other ways, but that is probably the easiest way that I can help you to get on your journey. First, publish your pattern. Immediately file for copyright protection. Get that under your belt. God willing, you are never, ever, ever going to face a situation like this, but if you do, you will have protection. You will know that you have protection. And God forbid you ever run up on anything like this. Again, I don't know. I cannot say if this is or isn't. What I can say is there's a whole lot of people who believes that it is. I can't say. I'm not a court of law. But what I don't want to happen to you is I don't want something like this to happen to you and it be true and you not have protection, because by then it's too late. So you need to think about that. You don't want to go, oh, well, it's never going to happen. It's just a little pattern. Because Betty McNitt had no idea that the 6-Day Kid Blanket was going to go viral 6 years after she uploaded the pattern. That pattern's been out for a decade. And it's so popular that you guys voted it as one of the top 10 patterns, your favorite patterns for 2018. It's been out for a decade. It's gone viral twice. She had no idea that that was going to happen. When Tina designed the Havana blanket, she had no idea that 4 years later, 3 or 4 years later, it was going to be turned into a crochet along, and that of 7 of the weeks that the crochet along was going on, it would be the #1 downloaded pattern on Ravelry for 5 of them. Tina had no idea that that was going to happen to her. It happens to a lot of designers. You never know with social media. Social media ebbs and flows, and you never know. All it takes is one person, the right person, to come across your pattern and share it, and boom, it explodes. And then you're like, oh my God, what am I going to do? You never, ever, ever know what's going to happen, so just don't take chances with it. Go and file for protection. It is $55. If you're worried about that, make sure that you are monetizing your website and you are redirecting people back to it. You will earn that money back. If you are marketing yourself and you are promoting yourself, you will earn that money back. Just do it. You have to do it. Okay? Thanks for listening. I will see you in my next video.